A local nonprofit's mission is to provide fundraising assistance to existing nonprofits, not-for-profit, and foundations that provide food services and programming for the elimination of poverty to the needy population and the homeless. Coming up on Polk Place, we will talk to some of the folks from Restaurants Against Hunger and see how they make a difference in our community. Make sure you stick around. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Brian Lacey, and joining me in studio is Grant Pichet. No introduction needed because, well, he's a legend in my mind. Restaurants Against Hunger, and with the recent COVID-19 situation, you've taken a stand in the community, and Restaurants Against Hunger has really made a difference. Let's talk a little bit about what you do and how Restaurants Against Hunger started.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. Our whole mission is to support those people on the front lines of hunger. And by doing that, we either purchase food. As a caterer, I have food left over. We properly cool it and then take it to those folks who are serving meals. And then, or we'll reach out to those pantries and provide canned goods or monetary funds for their work. But this COVID-19 pandemic, I have noticed an increase in the homeless population just in downtown Winter Haven. And so besides the fact that we wanted to provide an affordable meal for those people who are affected, who have lost their jobs, we also found that the local mission in Winter Haven was feeding up to 150 people a day. And then they lost their cook who got sick. Yeah. It wasn't COVID-19, but it was a respiratory issue, so they told her to take some time off. So we started getting involved with some other volunteers to help provide those meals, cook it, take the food that they have. We went through their freezer, and it was filled. They hadn't seen the back of that freezer in a while. I said, let's get to the back of this thing, pull all this stuff out, cook it up, and then we'll refill it once we get to the end. So a lot of volunteers, a lot of caterers and restaurants got involved with that. But an idea had been sent to me a long time ago, and I even forget where I got it, where somebody sent a picture about a place, and I don't even know where it was at, but it was a restaurant that had a refrigerator sitting outside of their restaurant, and they would put leftover food in that refrigerator, and anybody could come up and get that. So I had a little small refrigerator at the house sitting on the porch, and I said, you know what? My favorite sandwich is a peanut butter and jelly. I mean, that, especially if you put it on crackers, forget about it. It's over with. It's a full rack gone. Hence the extra 15 pounds is COVID-19. But that peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I just said, we can make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and put them out there in that thing and just put complimentary. Anybody wants one can have one. Share, And so the first night we put out 10, and a couple were taken, but the next day all of them were gone. So we throw out some more. And then a couple in the community, he's a retired Army gentleman, and he started a group called A Vet's Craft, where he makes soaps, sugar soaps. And they brought over a case of water and said they want to donate a water to the refrigerator. I said, perfect. So that water lasted less than a week, and so they brought us another case. Another young lady came. She's in a wheelchair, lives locally, but she cleared out her pantry and brought us applesauce, fruit cups, and puddings that she had in there. We put that in there. My wife works for Panera Bread delivery, and they always got leftover food, so she was able to bring that, cookies and Danish and bread and that sort of thing. So we were able to fill that up over the weekend. That was gone when we came to the place yesterday. So refilling it up with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and we'll just make sure that that's available. Now, you don't know, I don't see them. I don't see the people. It's usually at night when they come in, but one did stop by yesterday as my wife was walking out the front door. He grabbed the peanut butter and jelly, and she says, "Oh, hey, there's no water in there. I'm sorry." He goes, "That's all right. They've already filled up my container." And as he was leaving, he raised that peanut butter and jelly and just said, "Thank you," and went on. Well, of course, my wife went to tears on that, you know. So it affects everybody, but those people on the street, they got nowhere to go, and right now it's a real problem. And so that little thing kind of just helps put in perspective what you can do in your own circle of influence. And it was a simple gig: throw a little refrigerator out there, fill it up with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and it's just a small part, but I think people appreciate it. And I've had other people wanting to know, can I help fill the fridge? And anybody that wants to come help fill the fridge, be my guest, you know.
How do they get a hold of you? How do they do as such?
They can get a hold of us through our Facebook page. Contact us over there. Food Abides, www.facebook.com/Food reference to our boy. The
dude.
The dude is for sure. Or they can call me at 863-604-7721. That's my direct line to me.
Talk about the importance, you know, not only of you. This is, you've been on the front lines of this battle for some time, but people being introduced to it for the first time, such as this. Talk about the importance of giving back to that community that we work, live, and play in.
Yeah, you know, the community has been great to us during this whole deal, because we had to change our focus going from being a caterer and events shutting down to providing prepared meals to go. And there's no greater gift than to help somebody and be able to feed somebody or provide a meal. You know, the musicians, the hospitality folks, they're all found themselves in a real tough spot. And we have been providing a $10 meal every day, and if you're in hospitality, a musician or whatever, it's $10 or whatever you can pay. We got to come together in times like this to be able to make sure we get the basics, at least eat. Because if you're not eating, you're going to be malnourished, and the opportunity for you to get sick is there. And so the places like the Mission and all the other pantries, they're getting hit hard now because people are on hard times. And so if you have an opportunity to give, right now is the time to do it. No better gift than food. And the pantries need it, the missions need it. You know, fridge is another opportunity, but you know, if your neighbor needs it, cook an extra chicken that night. Work around in your circle of influence and help your neighbor out. And whether or not they need it or not, it's a great gesture, and you'll feel great about it.
Some of the things you mentioned that they could do, other things monetarily they can do, or simply giving of their time.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the things that the folks can do to help you and how they can do as such.
Well, you know, what we do in our efforts is kind of being able to help people, direct them in the right spots to go. Place like the Mission, volunteering right now, just to show a little humanity, is a great way to do it. You can social distance with them. They have that opportunity. The Mission serves all their food outside, and they do provide you know, Danish and that sort of thing in the morning. Then they serve a lunch, so they are getting a little breakfast, a little lunch. So volunteers can get involved. Obviously, cutting checks to help fill those pantries is in dire need right now. But call up, volunteer, find out what you can do, ask, reach out, and contact those people directly and ask them, what do you need? It could be a case of canned goods. Could be the large cans that you can get at Walmart's, green beans or baked beans, whatever it is. Grab one and take it to the Mission or to your pantry nearby. The small cans, you can go to Aldi and get a small can for 45 cents, 49 cents. I know during the holidays I'll buy a couple of pallets of it from them, so that when we do our food distribution for the holidays, we can do that. So you can go to Aldi and get a nice couple of cases for very cheap. So, yeah, get involved in reaching out to those pantries and missions and people that are feeding folks right now is critical.
Got just a little bit of time left. I want you to do two things for me. You obviously have folks that support you. Get to the point of the show where we do the Santa on Dancer, on Prancer, call them out by name.
Yeah.
Let the folks in this community know who helps you make the difference.
Well, I tell you, a big part of it is New Electric. Frank Schmoes, New Electric has always been there for us if whatever we need. And Frank and Janet have been real supportive of that. Randy Brummagen from SDC. You don't really see his business out in the community because he works on Publix, supermarkets and that sort of thing, but financially, he's always there for us, or if I need something fixed. A&E Auto Body, they've been real supportive of us, especially during the COVID-19 right now. They've had a significant part doing what we need to do. And so those are some of the folks that we can count on. Mark Howard, as M&J Lands out at River Ranch. He's been financially a good partner, and whatever you need, just let me know. So it's great to have good friends like that and good people in the community that help us make things work. So we appreciate that. And hopefully we're going to be able to get to a point where we'll be able to do our fundraiser in September and get back to doing what we do.
Well, we'll have you come back in and talk about that fundraiser. And in the meantime,
yeah,
no more peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Those chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, is that what it is?
Me. Oh, yeah. Fresh chocolate chips every day.
Hey, listen, man. Got to thank you for bringing in breakfast this morning.
Yes,
that was
sir.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah, that's another program we're going to be starting soon. So.
All right. Well, come back and see me soon, all right?
Will do. Appreciate that.
Food insecurity in our community is real, with over 20% of the children in Polk County not sure if they're going to eat today. Many families do not know how or if they will get their next meal. Restaurants Against Hunger's sole purpose is to support nonprofit, not-for-profit, and foundation whose missions is to eliminate hunger and poverty for at-risk and needy populations in our communities in Polk County. They strive to make a difference within the circle of our influence, as well as provide opportunities to bring awareness to those organizations on the front lines of hunger, serving those who serve others. That's who they are and what they do. Now, if you need more information on them, you can look them up at www.cateringoasis.com/RAH.